Good evening. This is Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, the Supreme Court sets free the BJP worker arrested in Bengal for posting a meme of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, but also tells her to apologise. The arrest itself was a shocker, but should the court have insisted on an apology as well? Does it set a bad precedent for free speech in a democracy? And as the BJP hits out at Mamata for being intolerant, the facts frankly show that the BJP's own track record has been less than stellar when it comes to issues like free speech. Are all of our political parties guilty of the same intolerance that they preach about? That's going to be our big debate tonight. But before we get to that, this developing story coming out of Kolkata tonight. There was violence during Amit Shah's rally in the city this evening. It was a mega rally that he was taking out just before the final phase of polling on Sunday. Clashes broke out between BJP and TMC supporters and others, and the police had to step in to try and control the crowds. The violence started after BJP supporters saw some students of North Kolkata's Vidyasagar College standing with posters that said "Go back Amit Shah." After that, they started pelting stones and entered the college and then went on a vandalism spree. Motorcycles parked inside were dragged out and set on fire, and a bust of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, a 19th century educationist and social reformer, on the premises was also vandalized. There is a blame game currently underway. The BJP insists that the violence began because of the Trinamool. The Trinamool says this was the BJP and its goons going on a rampage in the city. My colleague Rika Roy was there and joins us with more on that. Rika, the BJP is now approaching the Election Commission on this. It's always been a heated campaign there in Bengal between both sides, but have things calmed down now?
Well, Nidhi, I can't quite say that things have calmed down because a Trinamool Congress minister, in fact, a little while back, went to the Vidyasagar College to find out what exactly happened. We are also hearing, I am not 100% sure though, but we are hearing that Trinamool Congress also might complain to the State Election Commissioner about what happened tonight. Apparently, there were students of Vidyasagar College who were holding placards asking Amit Shah to go back, which is when BJP cadres got into the college, vandalized, and apparently they also molested a few girls inside the college. So all of this has come to us as official information through the police. And after that, one bike was set on fire. When Amit Shah tried to proceed further, he was not allowed. He was asked to go back by the police, saying that he did not have permission to go beyond a certain spot. He was not allowed to enter Vivekanand's house where he was destined to go this evening, but he had to leave a little ahead. This is the route, Nidhi, that he had taken earlier in the afternoon. You can see that there are placards, there are banners in their name till now. These placards and banners were put up earlier, but then the Kolkata police officials said that the BJP did not have permission to put them up, and they were using public space, which is why they were pulled down even before the rally. Right now, this place has been cleared out, but there were hundreds of BJP supporters and even onlookers on the road when the rally happened. It was a 3.5 kilometer stretch, but it took about 3 hours for the rally to go from the starting till the ending point.
Political flashpoint there in Bengal. Rika, thanks a lot for that update from there. And we're going to go straight across to Derek O'Brien, the Trinamool's parliamentary leader in the Rajya Sabha this evening. Derek O'Brien, what is the Trinamool's version of events here? Arun Jaitley has tweeted saying that, has Bengal acquired a government of gangsters, that the attack on Amit Shah's peaceful rally by the TMC is deplorable. So he's clearly pointing the finger at your supporters.
Yeah, Nidhi, that's the problem when you sit in Delhi, in a bungalow in Delhi, and write blogs and do tweets. Smell the coffee here in Calcutta. You know what Amit Shah has been up to? Firstly, about 1 week ago, he told everyone in Bengal that Rabindranath Tagore was born in Birbhum or in Bolpur. He didn't even know Rabindranath Tagore was born in Jorashako. Yesterday, he used the term Kangal Bangali. Kangal Bangali. He used the term. And today, worse than all, The students were showing him black placards. The Vidyasagar College was showing him black placards and saying, go back. And what do? The BJP goons from outside Bengal, none of them are from Bengal. Vidyasagar next year, his bicentenary is in 2020. Anyone in Bengal, in our school textbook, we had Borno Porichoy, Amit Shah, ki bujhbe. What will Amit Shah understand of this? What will the BJP understand of this? They were supposed to get a drubbing in Bengal. After today, they will get a double drubbing. Amit Shah, learn about Bengal. How dare you come here? And after that, you desecrate the statue of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. You ask anyone in Bengal. You ask the reporters who were there.
Are you saying the TMC supporters had no role to play at all in this violence that broke out?
And you're telling me, no, Nidhi, don't tell me about Jaitley's tweet from Delhi. A senior parliamentarian like him is congratulating Amit Shah for doing what he did today. Let the congratulations be. This is a disgrace. This is an insult to Bengal. But they have done this not once, not twice. You need to understand the culture of Bengal, the ethos of Bengal, the heritage of Bengal cannot be understood by a puke-worthy person from a different state who do not have a person to come and make a speech here in Bengali. Modi and Shah are their two primary campaigners here. Are Bangla mein ekta speech dao. এখানে এসে কাঙাল বলে গেছো তুমি কাঙাল Ahmedabad. You'll go back and be Chief Minister of Gujarat after that. After all the opposition parties together, you keep trying this. They don't have an organization in Bengal. They're trying to whip up this helium balloon. They will be thrown out. They know what has happened in the first.
I asked you again, Derek O'Brien. Was this just a one-way clash?
There is a silver lining.
Did the Trinamool have no role to play in what happened, the spectacle that we saw playing out just a little while ago? This was only one-sided. It was just the BJP guys going on the rampage, according to you.
You know the history of Bengal. The history of Bengal was that in the 1970s, I think, I know I was in primary school. In the 1970s, the Naxals of Bengal, if memory serves me right, that Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar statue, even in the 1970s, was desecrated. Today is a very, very sad day. You bring in your, now we know why this is 7th phase of election. They came in here, and this is the Amit Shah who insults Rabindranath Tagore, who calls us Kangal Bangal. Okay, and today he does this. Does he know Borno Porichoy? Does he know it's the bicentenary of Vidyasagar? Students are not allowed to show black placards. What is this? We are not Modi and Shah. Try your luck somewhere else. Tomorrow, Trinamool Congress will hold protest. Trinamool don't have to do much. The people of Bengal have shut the door on these guys. I don't want to do any big talk to do.
All right,
I'm very, very upset.
Quick last question,
1
Derek.
mile away from there, 1 kilometer is where I went to college in North Calcutta.
Okay, last. I just want to ask you a quick last question.
What upsets me is what you're asking about. What Jaitley? Yeah, what?
No.
Jaitley tweeted from Delhi. What Mr. Jaitley and writing tweets from Delhi and telling us, well done, Amit Shah. Oh. Let me make 2 quick points on the elections. I want to make 2 quick points, please. Number one, after the first few phases, 25 Lok Sabha, in the first 25, repoll ordered in 6 booths. In Tripura, 10% out of 1,600, 170 booths. Central forces are being taken in with the BJP candidate into the booth. If you don't have support base, if you don't have your election agent, what do you want us to be? Santa Claus in May to give you election agent. You've come to Bengal.
All right.
You've tried your luck. You put 100% central forces in every booth. You still can't win.
You still can't win. Let's see what happens.
How dare you do what you did to Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar today? How dare you do what you did to Rabindranath Tagore?
All right, let's see what happens on the 23rd as far as that is concerned. But a quick last question, Derek O'Brien. this whole controversy over the arrest of this BJP worker who had put up
One
a
thing
meme
will
of
happen.
Mamata Banerjee.
One thing will happen.
Can I just ask you that your comments on this? Was this a complete overreaction by the police to have arrested this young woman for what happened? I mean, freedom of speech is something you've always championed, you personally. Do you support this at all?
I think, hear me out. The police was 2 points. There's no, I'll give you. Let me, if you see, we'll answer whatever. Listen, you ask a question, we answer. You ask Mamata Banerjee question, he answered. He doesn't play God like the Prime Minister Modi. You ask him, he cannot give a question, he'll not answer any question. Only monologue. I'll give you 10 I'm going to answer your question. I'll give you 10 examples of how people have been arrested by the local police because they've done memes of Modi. Unacceptable. Please hear me out. The Supreme Court said what they wanted to say in the morning. The Supreme Court said what they wanted to say. Apparently, the police of Kolkata have closed that case, and that is all there is to it. That is all there is to it.
Shouldn't have happened
so
in the first place.
Don't make this Bengal targeting Bengal. I only want to say one more thing. All this shouldn't have happened. The police may not have done it in the first place. This is, we are talking about Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Varno Porichoy.
Well, you already made that point.
Amit Shah and Modi, I can tell you, and he called us Kangal.
Okay,
No,
Derek O'Brien, you made your point. All right, I have to leave it there. Thanks for joining us tonight.
You call me back. 1 minute, Nidhi, one last point.
30 seconds.
Last point. You call Modi and Shah back to Bengal after the results. Then you will know what is Sonar Bangla. And he called us Kangal Bangla. Esho, resulted for Esho Bangla.
Okay, all right. I didn't understand that, but thanks, Derek O'Brien, for making your point. I know your audience would have understood that. Thank you for joining us tonight, giving us your perspective on this. And, while that entire drama is playing out tonight, around Amit Shah's rally in Kolkata, the other big story from Bengal has been the arrest of this BJP worker that I was asking Derek O'Brien about, Priyanka Sharma. She was arrested just a few days ago for putting up a post that essentially made fun of Mamata Banerjee, and she was set free by the Supreme Court today. But the court also said that at the same time, she would have to, at the time of her release, tender an apology in writing for putting up or sharing the pictures that were complained of on her Facebook account. The court also said that the order is being made in the special facts and circumstances of this case and shall not operate as a precedent, and that the questions raised are kept open, which means I think that they're looking at the basis of the reasons for her arrest a little later, while Priyanka's lawyer had argued in court that is a meme a violation of freedom of speech. There are memes everywhere. They are a form of satire. That way, everyone would have to apologize. But the court said, let her give an apology. Had it been a common citizen, it would have been different. But when you look at this particular case, again, it raises questions about Mamata Banerjee's style of leadership, and that is why it has become such a controversy. It's not just a free speech issue, it is very much about her style of leadership. And yes, there have been a series of cases, whether the Congress was in part and the BJP in particular, where we've seen people being arrested for making fun of Mr. Modi. And the fact is, all parties are guilty on this count. Let's go straight across to our panelists tonight. Here in the studio, J.V. Shergill of the Congress is with us. We have Aarti Jairath back with us tonight. Also with us, Karunanandi, advocate of the Supreme Court. Shantanu Gupta, who has authored a book on Mr. Adityanath of UP. And we have Professor Subrata Mukherjee here in the studio with us, who is sympathetic to the Trinamool's point of view. Garga Chatterjee, also a supporter of the TMC, joining us in just a little while from now. Aarti Jairath, just to get your first comment on this. Looking at this sort of ugly battle that we're seeing in Bengal, the way things have broken out at Amit Shah's rally today, the controversy over this BJP workers' arrest, it seems that the fiercest battle in this election is actually being fought in Bengal.
Absolutely. Nidhi, if you look at the elections across India, they've been by and large peaceful. Bengal is the only state which has reported violence in every phase so far. And this is, of course, the worst, I think, so, what has happened today. This meme thing, I really don't understand. In the old days, you had hand-drawn cartoons and caricatures, right? Today, everything is digital. It's technology. So, meme actually replaces the hand-drawn caricature. or morphed pictures. So, I mean, they should be taken in that spirit. I don't see how it's defamatory. I don't see how it can outrage anybody's sensibility. I mean, you may not have liked the picture. It certainly doesn't warrant it. Doesn't even warrant a case. I mean, if they wanted to hit back, they could have posted a meme, a counter meme to that. But, certainly not 14 days in jail, a case and so on and so forth. And frankly, I don't see why she should even have to apologize.
Which is another part of this debate. I mean, Garga Chatterjee, is there anything more undemocratic than arresting somebody for putting up a meme? You really believe that is democratic?
Let me be very clear about certain things. At this point of time, Mamata Banerjee controls the state police or does not control the state police to the same extent that Rajnath Singh of BJP, the Home Minister, controls all the central armed paramilitaries and BSF and CISF in West Bengal booths or not. So let us be very clear about what we are talking here. Number one. Number two, yes, I am sure this is overaction and the case has been withdrawn or has been closed, and that's how it should have been. Supreme Court has given its verdict. Having said that, let us understand what we are experiencing in Bengal now. 87% of all the official money, according to the ADR, is with the BJP. With this money,
what does that have to do with Priyanka Sharma's arrest? Why should she be arrested for that?
Because it is very clear that Priyanka Sharma, the BJP person there, had basically, if you look at that substance, what was it? I am not going into arrest question. It did not have any political message. It had Mamata Banerjee's face superimposed on a see-through dress, kind of a model's dress. The three sections that have been given, one of them is vulgarity. In Bengal, when we say Ma Bon, we end our sentence there. BJP's culture does not end with Ma, Behen. They actually add words after that. That is BJP's culture, and today that was in full view when they desecrated the statue of
Mr. Chatterjee, you are not answering the question.
Have no clue what they have
There
done.
is something called satire. There is something called freedom of speech. By the way, the dress that you are talking about was worn by Priyanka Chopra to a very big, nice party in New York. Having said that, how does that warrant somebody's arrest? If there are people that have been arrested for making fun of Mr. Modi, do you want to emulate that in Bengal and do the same thing?
If anybody does a Google search right now and does Narendra Modi Facebook arrest, the litany of results that will give you will actually expose what the BJP is.
So then why do you want to do the same thing? Be different.
Nobody is doing the same thing. As I understand, it's an election time. Remember what I said first. Do you think every central armed police force is being controlled by Rajnath Singh? Do you think every BSF person in every booth is being controlled by Rajnath Singh? Every CISF person, every CRPF person.
Come on, Mr. Chatterjee.
Belong to the
Come on, Mr. Chatterjee. If Mamata Banerjee wanted, she would have had that case dropped in minutes.
The relationship between central police and the home ministry is exactly the same.
Let me just get Shantanu in on this.
The state government
Shantanu, you've been listening to what Garga Chatterjee is saying.
Delhi is not holier than Bengal. It has shown it to be a very unholy.
As I said right at the beginning, this whole episode with Priyanka is in a way reflective of how ugly this battle has become in Bengal. Shantanu, your first thoughts.
I think first of all, I don't know why I heard first Mr. Derek O'Brien then Garga Chatterjee. They both sound very agitated. I don't know, this is maybe a repercussion of the election season they're part of. One small update, a tweet I'm reading from ANI that on the apology thing. So the tweet says the Supreme Court calls back. So I'm reading the tweet from ANI which says Supreme Court calls back Sharma's lawyer. Sharma means Priyanka Sharma's lawyer. NK call and modifies its order and waives off the condition for apology. So I think that's a new update. I think the apology condition is also waived off. I think having said that, this is not a
lying again on media. He's a liar, just like
I'm saying an ANI tweet. I don't know.
No, Shantanu.
He's a liar. Look at this liar. They have broken Ishwar
He has been misled. He has been misled by an incorrect report.
Money bags are with him. Because money bags are with him. It is money smiling through his face. And that's why he's lying here. And he's caught lying.
One second. Garga Chatterjee, please, can we just try to let everyone speak? Shantanu, just to clarify that the Supreme Court order was put up on their website this evening. And the court order clearly says that when she is released, she will have to put up an apology in writing as well. So the Supreme Court has ordered her to apologize. They did not make it as a condition for her to be released, but said that she will have to do so when she is released. So just to clarify that point. But go ahead to what else you were saying. Yes.
Okay. So I think I was making a point that Priyanka Sharma was not the only case. We have Amikesh Mahapatra, the cartoonist, who was jailed in non-election time. And the pattern of Mamata Banerjee is not new, right? So I think seems like kind of running a separatist movement. CBI cannot work there. In the cyclone time, Prime Minister, she will not talk to Prime Minister. Ayushman Bharat will not work here. She will not give data for PM Kisan. I know political rivalry is one thing. Does the BJP and BJD has less political rivalry? And if I read this phenomena, then every sixth phase of election we saw violences. I was part of a lot of NDTV debates during election. You were showing celebrating very nice decorated polling booths, old people going to newlywed people going to polling booths. But in West Bengal, we are seeing almost Prakash Jha pre-EVM era movies. CRPF, PAC,
having said that, Shantanu,
guns,
when
lathis,
you look at the BJP's
what is that?
when
And
you look at the
BJP's
BJP's
since now.
When you look at the BJP's own track record, I mean, I have a list here of all the people who've been put behind bars because they put up a post that offended Mr. Modi. There are people who've been thrown in jail for criticizing the RSS, for Facebook posts. Somebody had morphed an image of the Prime Minister with a begging bowl and was arrested. So there are a whole list of, Jaivir, a whole list of instances here. And frankly, the Congress, I mean, they'd thrown a cartoonist in jail under the sedition law, no less, Asim Trivedi, because he had put up a cartoon that apparently offended you guys. So how is the political class, distinguishing itself on this? I mean, the fact is, everyone is intolerant.
Nidhi, I concede and agree with you. Politicians and political parties of all stripes are guilty of trampling upon freedom of expression at some point or the other in their political history of the landscape. The question is, what are you going to do next? Are you acknowledging the fact that the democracy is the most preferred form of governance because you have the right to dissent without fear of victimization? That is why Congress party is promised in the manifesto that we are going to decriminalize the defamation law. Let me be very candid, the arrest of the BJP youth leader was wrong. It was an overreaction. Number 3, I think one example we are missing out is the Time magazine cover. The Bharatiya Janata Party held a press conference, character assassinated the author, and God forbid he would have been in India, he would have been arrested. 29th March 2019, another gentleman from Jamshedpur was arrested for morphing the photo of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So I think going forward, people have to acknowledge that democracy needs a breathing space. And to your question, why Supreme Court has given an apology, should they have done? And I think that's a very valid question. Supreme Court has given a balanced sense of justice to both the parties. On a lighter note, not attributing anything to the Supreme Court, I must clarify, most probably it would have been a consensus order. The horror of trial has been spared for the BJP youth leader by this apology, and also the long drawn legal battle which had to be faced. My last point is this: Bengal is turning out to be a tinderbox where elections are being fought on the heels of violence. Both sides need to take a step back. You've had BJP morphing Bhojpuri movie scenes portraying as communal violence in Bengal. You've had BJP people threatening TMC. I'm not saying every political party is holier than thou, but it is entire time that Election Commission shows some spine, rein in the central
Bit
forces
late in
and
the
so
day.
something. Yes.
Bit late in the
As
day,
I
we
said
are
you on the other day,
yeah.
operation successful, patient dead.
Well, Karuna Nandi, the other point, of course, is the Supreme Court, telling Priyanka Sharma to apologize. Now, this is something that a lot of people are finding deeply problematic, because you do have satire, you have memes, people have a right to offend, they have a right to do this in a democracy. So, the Supreme Court says we're not setting a precedent, that this is a one-off, but does it not set a precedent?
There is a precedent just before the Supreme Courts as well, in a case that I argued for Vishal Dadlani before the Punjab and Haryana High Court, where he had put out 2 tweets that were somewhat impolite, but according to us not criminal at all. They didn't fall under any criminal provision, and we succeeded in the High Court. The High Court said quite rightly that the FIR will be quashed. That was brought by the head of not the head, but somebody from the BJP IT cell over there. And it went on for 3 years because the courts have limited time. However, the FIR was quashed. The tail end was something that came out without any notice to us. There was no natural justice. It was without jurisdiction. Under the sort of section 482, which is the inherent jurisdiction of the court said he must deposit some money into trust, in a trust and with another welfare fund of the High Court. Now the thing is that was without jurisdiction. It was without jurisdiction because of the Mirajkar judgment of the Supreme Court. This judgment, Nidhi, says as follows, that recognizing that Article 19(1)(a), and it is on freedom of expression, that all speech you have a constitutional right to, except under Article 19(2) if a law limits it, right? The Mirajkar judgment says that the court cannot of its own accord limit that speech. And that, according to us, is what that High Court judgment unfortunately went contrary to, you know. Now, we are examining whether it's possible for us or not under the same jurisdiction, under 482, to ask for modification of order before the same honourable judge. Because otherwise, the petitioner is burdened further. Now, the thing is, in the present case, the difficulty is this, is that the court in its wisdom has given Priyanka Sharma bail, and really quite correctly, because it does not fall within 66A. Why do I know this? Because I was one of the people who argued in the Supreme Court for that provision to be struck down, and that provision no longer exists.
And yet
Secondly,
it has been used, which is
Section
another
67A, and yet it has been used, which is very distressing, and it is being used in various parts of the country, a provision that does not exist. The second thing is that Section 67A was used. And now the thing to remember is that that's a cognizable offence, and that's why it's frequently used in particular cases. So the police can arrest without recourse to a judge. And was it a sexual image? I don't think it was particularly a sexual image. The third thing, and I think this may not be wrong, there was a defamation that was brought. Now, criminal defamation is something that I am strongly against. However, should any defamation lie? Now, this is a question I think that must be kept
Karuna, just
open.
1 second.
However, it would mean that bail would not be an issue.
Okay, all right. Well, you have an interesting take on that.
But you know, just
Professor
one brief point I'd like to make.
One moment, just
as
one
a
moment.
caveat.
Yeah, sure. Professor Mukherjee, you know, you're sitting here listening to this debate. The point is, all of this adds up to what critics say is Mamata Banerjee's authoritarian streak. And that this streak, that while she's a democratically elected chief minister, is what, also sets her apart. And is that healthy in a democracy?
Well, you see, as was said, there are excesses all around. I think this should have been avoided by the Mamata Banerjee government, because there used to be a minimum for everything, and now happily it has ended. And in future, I think all the politicians should be careful, because you see, there is these kinds of cartooning. I mean, I fear that Shankar Suikli may not exist in today's India. So, in that case, I think that this action should have been avoided, and the cartooning is a part of the liberal action plan, and that should continue.
So you do, but what does it tell you about the larger sort of streak that and Mamata's politics?
Well,
what she's being criticized for?
It is very difficult to pinpoint, because the excesses are done by the local police, and as the central authority. Look to the slaughters in Uttar Pradesh. Will you blame the Home Minister for that? So, first we should work out the responsibility and the local people, how the coordination is done. I think that coordination is extremely poor, and that's how excesses are all around, including what happened in Rajasthan recently.
Aarti Jairat.
But Nidhi, I don't think we should just sort of hit Mamata on this, because this authoritarian streak of trying to curb free speech when it is uncomfortable for them or embarrassing for them, this is prevalent in all political parties, as you yourself have pointed out, and as Jaiveer has admitted. So I think Mamata Banerjee just reflects what is happening to the political class as a class, that they are getting very, very intolerant of cartoons that make fun of them, of articles that criticize them, of jokes that satirize them, and this is becoming now very prevalent amongst politicians. This sort of level of intolerance to criticism and satire, and that is a disturbing trend. That is something that we, people who believe in free speech and free media, need to fight against.
Shantanu, would you say that that's something that you would advise the BJP as well as a well-wisher? That, you know, they are as guilty of what they're accusing Mamata Banerjee and others of today. I just read out a whole list of people who've been arrested for making fun of Mr. Modi. I mean, would you say that this is something across the board that, you know, political parties need to reflect on?
I think you're absolutely right. The word is changing. The modern word is very different. I think earlier it form of cartoonist, now it form of satirist and cartoonist. I think every political party and leader should I think get comfortable with this idea that they will be criticized in different ways, and cartoons are no different.
All right. Well, at least, you know, you're candid enough to say that. Garga Chatterjee, at least now say that this shouldn't have happened.
Of course, and I would like to point it to a much larger systemic issue. Look, since 2014 in the World Press Freedom Index, India has been slipping in points. Purna Prashan Bajpayee, just because he exposed Modi's lies, cannot find a job today. Abhishar Sharma has to do his own Facebook Live. He was actually a huge Hindi journalist. Today, the cesspool that BJP has done through Hindi journalism by pumping in money and pumping in biased stuff. Everybody saw what this the sting operation of Cobra Post was. Think about it. This is the scenario. It's a much larger issue. It's a much larger issue here. Let us not get into what BJP wants us to discuss this evening when Bengal is burning, when Narendra Modi and Amit Shah's riot army has come to Bengal and desecrated Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. This is the evening. It will be Waterloo of BJP. Bengal will be the Waterloo of BJP.
All right, well, whether it is the Waterloo or not is anyone's guess, as I keep saying. But certainly the BJP is giving a tough fight there, or at least throwing whatever it has in this election at Bengal. So thanks to all of you for joining us tonight on, what has become a story that has moved from Priyanka Sharma's arrest to the vandalism and violence we saw in Amit Shah's rally. In fact, the BJP has just met the Election Commission in Delhi on that as well and has complained to the EC about that. What the EC will do is also anyone's guess. Thanks to all of you for joining us.